There's a lot. There are tons of questions on the last Tech Tuesday, and there's a ton of questions on all of the educational videos.
Let's fire them up.
Fire them up. All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Tech Tuesday. My name is Ben.
I'm Tim.
He is Tim, and we will be jumping into some more of your questions. But before we do, Tim, is there any questions, quibbles, tech, support, fashion statement, or whatever comments you might have before we jump in?
Yeah, it is cool to drive fast cars slow. It is not cool to drive slow cars fast. Just,
Fair enough. That's a good,
It's
I
true.
drive a Camry, so
Hey, that's nothing wrong with the Camry.
there's nothing wrong with the
I got a
Camry.
Camry.
Question 1 is from Trevor Ruff 7463. You guys should make a PDM, power distribution module, like the Holly Sniper 2 PDM. Would help clean up the engine bays and make wiring up the extra wires simpler.
Okay, let's do it. Next.
Fair enough. Any explanation, any expounding on that? Or
No, those things are great, actually. Why not, right?
Emil Hellerud. 88888.
Is that what this is?
Yeah, I think so.
Any progress on ignition setup for a rotary engine? Love and Tech Tuesday, all the way from Norway. Neat.
Norway.
I ain't
Pretty
been
neat.
there. That's they got great metal music there. So, anywho, no, but the rotary stuff, yeah. I own a few rotaries. We haven't dove into that yet, but it's something that I have a high interest in. So I've been collecting a lot of information on the rotary scene. It's the ignition's a little bit funny, and when you do make them run, the RPMs display a little bit weird. But we have to work out that strategy of, what kind of signal you're doing, and there could be in the future like a rotary variant or something like some kind of modifier. That way the RPMs make sense. But that's something we need to look at anyways. People with old 12As, they got a Nicky carburetor on there or something like that, and they want to switch over to our stuff. They need a solution. There's a lot of aftermarket companies that's kind of doing not really a lot. I mean, you know who they are. They compete with us. So I'd like to have a solid solution that it's just like with my 22R project, point, click, buy. It's like, this is what you need for that.
Yeah.
The end. So
Yeah,
that'll
I
probably
agree.
be distributor stuff, all kinds of weird strategy. But that's something I want to look into. So I want to drag one of my rotary cars down here and play with it some.
Question number 3 is at Jacob Frida. I have your Jackpot with trans control in my Jeep. I have 2 different tunes, one for off-road and one for daily driving. The only difference is the shift points for the trans to hold it in 1 and 2 longer off-road. In the future software updates, it would be nice to be able to have multiple tunes in the handheld to switch between on the fly if possible.
You can't have a multi-selector in our stuff. It's not set up for the resistance input to where it says this resistance, this tune, so on and so forth. But you can save the tune file in the handheld and just beep, beep, tunes in.
Yep.
That's the thing. I made a little video on that. I think it's on my personal YouTube
I
thing.
can't remember if it's on ours or yours.
Well, you probably ought to put one on Aces, to be honest.
I think
the technology's
I think
changed
there is a
bit.
short. I think it's it's changed since then.
Slightly.
Okay. I think it's on. If we do have a video, I will link it up here for you. But yes, you can have multiple tunes in the handheld at one time, and you just switch between them. But yes, more stuff for that maybe in the future.
Yeah, you
Maybe
can't do it with it
large
running.
pieces.
You got to have it, engine off, key on, load the tune.
Do they have to do anything with the Start Wizard when you
No.
upload a brand new tune, or you just
You
upload it
just
in?
flash it in an
Okay.
already known thing.
Yeah. David Cunningham says, I'm waiting for the tuning videos since we did the kill shot install video.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I
very soon.
I spent 3 days tuning the new Killshot Classic.
Basically, all I'm going to say is very soon. That's all I'm going to say. I'm just going to say very soon.
It's awesome. It's really cool.
Possibly today or tomorrow. What? No.
Yeah.
That's crazy. What? Okay. Trash MX Riders.
Oh, yeah. I would love to have a two-step.
I love the short question. Or it's not even a question, it's a statement. It's like, love to have a two-step, Tim.
Yeah.
Two-step.
Well, two-step, yeah. Some of our stuff does have a two-step in it. I'm interested in trying to convince the upper echelon about rolling anti-lag stuff, which is neat. But yeah, that'd be cool. Some more stuff does have a two-step.
I was going to say, I was going to say, which system do you have? Because I do know that some do have two-step applications already put into it.
Some do. Some have like a launch control. It's not really a two-step, but
Right.
you can do it with a launch control, but you can only kind of do it one time because it's part of the launch thing. And then there's like certain parameters it has to meet in order to be reactivated again. So that's slightly cumbersome, but yeah, we're making some headway on that to change what some inputs do or change it to personality, I guess is a good way to say it.
Next question is from Jeremy Pickle 682. Hey, I've got your Jackpot with the trans control, and I have two questions. One, is there sport/performance mode on the Jackpot like y'all talked about for the quick draw? And two, will the Jackpot work with my dry nitrous system, or do I need to get a wet system? Thanks for all the hard work, and hopefully y'all can get a flex fuel sensor setup done soon.
Cool. Answer to one is no. Unfortunately, we're kind of out of pins.
Yeah.
And option 2 on that is going to be you got to go with the wet system because we don't have an input to progressively control our fuel in the nitrous system. So you want to do kind of a wet system as you do. But yeah, you can still have the timing retard with ours. You can set that up that way. Whenever you trigger that, it does retard the timing appropriately. And the flex fuel sensor, we've done some R&D on that, and I think we're getting back around to that at some point real soon because I want to see it go.
Yeah.
I think it'll be neat.
Actually, specifically on flex fuel, like sometimes we say things are in the works, but I do know that we've had some relatively serious conversations about that recently.
There's a lot of things in the works.
So there are, like the Killshot Classic being released in 1 to 2 days, but nobody says anything about that because you just heard it here on Tech Tuesday. But outside of that, other things coming down the pipeline very soon.
I just completed a kill shot install on a 427 big block. Overall happy with the system, but I'm getting some less than desirable Decel-Exhaust Pop. That was not there with the carb. I do have Decel fuel cutoff enabled. Some of your competitors have an option to control what the Decel fuel cutoff happens and when the fuel comes back in, so on and so forth. I have a suggestion. In your tuning software, go to your follow table, which is your deceleration timing values, add a little bit in there. Because what it is those values are slightly more retarded than what you're going to get in your table, so it'll retard the timing. Even though it's fuel cutoff, there's always some residual in there, so add a little bit of timing in there. That'll probably help that out a smidge. And don't go crazy. Put 5 degrees in there and see if that helps. That's normally how I kind of solve that, and I'll identify exactly where it's happening at, and that's where I'll dash that little bit of extra timing in. That way, it gives a chance for the excess fuel to catch up.
Yeah. And then I'd say otherwise, you could send an email into techsupport@acefi.com. Tim's got some pretty cool tech documents, as he calls them, about how to interact with the tuning software, as well as you can ask any more questions about how to get into the advanced tuning software.
Those documents will be on our page at some point soon.
Yeah,
we are adding a text section with links to videos and documents and things. Might even try to do a forum. That'll be fun, but it's just going to be a bunch of Reddit trolls getting in there making trouble.
Yeah. But again, I'm totally for it. I mean, we already have a forum on Facebook. Next question from Rick Sturfer, 5155 again. Another question for episode 41. Does the fuel pressure sensor modify the tune, or is it just information? My sensor is not reading correctly yet, and I need to modify the 1D table for it. Just wanted to be sure that the erroneous reading was not messing with the auto learning.
Nah, it ain't touching it. It's just reading the values right now. At some point down the road, we'll probably add that option in to where if you want the fuel comp percent based off of how much fuel there is, and it messes with the little math channel we made for how it offsets the fuel. We may do that at some point. But honestly, we just leave it as a value. That way it doesn't mess anybody's stuff up. Like if you got a O2 sensor or a fuel sensor, I mean, if your fuel sensor goes bad and it's reading some crazy stuff, you don't want it to mess with your tune hardcore.
Right.
And the thing is, a lot of people hard mount those sensors. Those sensors,
right.
They don't like being hard mounted for a long time in their life, and that's anybody's sensor. So if you look at some of the real high-end pro people running sensors, they'll be on rubber isolation bushings in a manifold using, -3 or -4 AN lines to whatever they're sensing, and they get real fancy. And that's why they do it, even with their map sensors and whatnot too. They don't hard mount them in the intake. So that's why a lot of them, they set on a rubber cushion. If you look at some of ours, it'll be isolated with an O-ring or it'll be isolated with whatever. But unfortunately, with the way a lot of the threaded sensors are, it's kind of hard to do that without drastically increasing the cost.
Right.
People can always choose to do that on their own. We're just supplying the sensor.
Black Pearl Camaro. He says, or they say, sorry, I should not.
I wonder what kind of paint job they got on the Black Pearl Camaro.
No. Hey guys, not much for getting my kill shot tuned in my area. Where's a trusted site to get a decent tune to download from others? Also, where can I get a cable to hook up to my computer? I was supposed to get one with my kit. Thanks. Or was I supposed to get one with my kit? Thanks. I believe it depends on what type of kit that you ordered.
If it's super basic kit, you're probably not going to get a CAN cable with that.
Right.
Also, you don't 100% need a CAN cable to adjust your tune. You can copy the tune file to your handheld and then upload it onto a flash drive, stab it in your computer, manipulate it, put it back into your handheld. It's a longer way of doing it. I did make a short video on this, but the CAN cable is like $50 to $70 or something like that. They're kind of spendy, but it actually takes a lot to make, so the material cost is there.
Reach out to customer service at acesefi.com and send them the information on the kit that you ordered, and just make sure that it's not like just a standalone kit, but if it's like a top-end kit or master kit, they probably should have included a tuning cable in there. If not, let them know. We'll get that taken care of for you.
Also, for the tuning thing of it all, you can reach out to like Dirty Dirty Racing or Justin Richardson. Those guys do a lot of remote tuning as well.
Elliot Simmons.
Yeah, Elliot Simmons. Yeah, he's one of our northern ones.
You can head over to our website. There is a list of authorized tuners that we have that you can do. You can also check out some of the Facebook forums, or our specific Facebook forum has some tuners in there and people are finding success with. You can see if there's anybody local in there. But yeah, otherwise you can head over to our website and there's some authorized tuner lists that you can look it through, and maps. You can actually look them up specifically where they are on a map. So
all good folks.
Yep. Very good.
They're all good. SVT God. So, any chance we will ever get a two-step with a kill shot? I'm using a kill shot to control ignition. It has a rev limiter. Seems like the software update uses rev limit. So to control two-step wire would be easy. System might not be able to. Just curious. Or kind of considering that. There is a wire that should do that, but it's not available in the software yet. There was a rev limit situation going on, and there was a two-step wire, and there was a step retard wire, and all kinds of stuff, and people honestly wasn't really using the thing, so that might be something we circle back around to and look at actually putting it in to the kill shot.
Yeah.
Not the kill shot classic, just the kill shot.
Yep.
But there's a lot.
That's the issue.
There's a lot to making that work.
That's the issue. Like as much as I think we probably get a two-step question just about every one or two videos. It's a very popular question, but it's actually surprisingly difficult to make happen.
There's just a lot that goes into it.
Yeah. So, but like you said, I think we did have it on or have a wire dedicated to that in the future on the kill shot loose lead.
Well, we used to have like way back in the day, back before we even had like a harness you can unplug. I mean, that was one of the options in there, but it was like, we had to look at the reality of how to make this cost effective and get it out to the customer working nice, tested, without all the extra craziness going on. So we've achieved that. Now we need to revisit of expanding back onto it and just adding that stuff in, because people that already have it, it's just a software update. The people that don't have it, it's an add-on.
Yeah. DW Garage Project says Aces intake that's not an MPI variant. I'm interested, but at the moment of this comment, there are no listings on the website for a Big 3 Mopar getting nothing from the MPI kits too. I know we showcased a Mopar multi-port injection kit, or not kit, intake that we're working on.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the time frame is on that. You might know a little bit more in the R&D department, but
I did the fit checks, made the notes, sent it back, and things wouldn't change. It's just, I look at it for what is the people, because we do this for the people.
For the people.
For the people. What is the people going to receive this thing and stare at it and then have like 9 different complaints, like this needs to be fixed and this don't work and that's weird and we don't like that. So, you kind of got to look at it at a different light. So do that, send it back to manufacturer, get the changes made. It's a whole process of doing. And, we're coming up on, at least for the small block Mopar stuff, quickly getting to that multi-port intake. A classic style intake was something that'll probably follow up eventually as well, because we're looking at it for small block stuff. So, that's small block Chevy stuff on, proper motors.
I swear, sometimes you say things and I'm like, there's a third of people who are like, yeah, and then there's the other 2/3 who's like, what did he say?
Oh, it's like that Mustang video.
On the other side of the camera.
Yeah,
because
it's like that not the Mopar, that Mustang video I did where I filmed the dumpster first, and everybody got to laugh at it because you gotta. It's a car thing. It's a car thing.
Yeah.
You make fun of Camaro guys, you make fun of Mustang guys and all that. Because, if you own Camaros and Mustangs and Mazdas and Fords and Mopars and all that other stuff like I got, then it's just good funny. Some people take it so seriously. Damn. Oh, my God. Like, how dare you disgrace a Fox body Camaro? Doc 4244 EFA?
Yes, you got it.
Question, why do I keep adjusting my IAC and TPS? The IAC should be working fine. I get to a stop now. I drop down to 5, and TPS will go 0 and 0.2. Yeah, that's normal. So the IAC dropping down to 5, that's its maximum value. That means your throttle blades are open up a little bit too much. So it's trying to lower the idle. And it could actually be a too much fuel situation too, depending. And the TPS should go to 0. Wherever it's a relaxed position at, when your foot's off of it, it'll go down to 0 or 0.2, thereabouts. You got all the way up to like 0.7 before it thinks it's in cruising mode. Mm-hmm. But yeah, if it's a low IAC number, you're going to have, you got to adjust that at temperature. So if it's cold, it's going to be higher. If you're cruising, it's going to be higher. If you're just chilling at idle at operating temperature, TPS should be 0 to 0.2 or thereabouts. And your IAC will need to be around 20 and some change-ish in that area. Depends on what it likes the most. But if it's at 5, that means you got too much throttle plate open up on it. So close it up a little bit, reset your TPS, and see if you make it happy. You might just have a vacuum leak somewhere. Look for any, discarded caps or gasket not sealing or something funny like that.
Last question for the day.
Sure.
At 79 Sierra, does the AC input reference wire raise the idle when you turn on the air conditioning?
Well, it raises the percentage of IAC. If fan kicks on, that does a thing. If another fan kicks on, that does a little bit more. If the AC is triggered on with one of the newer updates, I think 210 and up, I believe it was, then it should idle it up a certain value and activate, I think, fan number 2, I believe.
Yeah.
If you're looking at Handheld, I can't remember what menu it's under, but there will be one about AC, basically like AC kick, and it'll be a percentage. So there'll be like an on-delay time, and then there'll be like a percentage thing. That way it doesn't have an oscillating idle.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Tech Tuesday. If you liked it, please leave a like down below. If you have a comment about EFI or questions about Aces, please feel free to leave a comment down below. We'd love to get to it in our next Tech Tuesday video. If you've got any family or friends looking to install an upgrade to EFI, send them our way. Any questions they might have as well, we'd be happy to answer. And like always, we're super excited that you joined us for this episode of Tech Tuesday, and we will see all of you in the next one. Bye for now.
Bye now.